I've shared some of my favorite Korean skincare products on this channel before, but I always get so many questions about moisturizers and how to improve skin hydration. So today I am doing a deep dive on some of my absolute favorite Korean moisturizers based on skin type. By the way, I'm Dr. Sam Ellis. I'm a board-certified dermatologist in Northern California, and I'm here to help you understand your skin and find products that work for you. So if you like that type of content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And this video is in partnership with Stylevanna. Stylevanna is a one-stop online shop where you can get the trendiest Asian beauty products. And I've partnered with Stylevanna before. I really like that they have a super wide range of Asian makeup, skincare, hair care, and they keep their prices really affordable. I know some people get concerned when they're buying Asian skincare online as to whether or not they are purchasing from a reputable distributor, but I can assure you Stylevanna is wonderful. Everything I've ever purchased from them has been great. It does take a little while to get shipping because it's coming from overseas, but once it arrives, it's so worth it. They've also generously given me a code, INF10 Dr. Sam, so make sure you use that with your order if you want some major savings. I will put all of the details in the description box. So a lot of people know Korea absolutely knocks it out of the park when it comes to formulating their sunscreens, but their moisturizers are also so top-notch. The formulas are incredibly elegant. The way they lay down on the skin, how effective they are, the textures, Needless to say, I'm very excited to share my favorites with you, but first I wanted to talk a little bit about how to improve skin hydration in general, because that's a very important concept to understand. One thing I want to make abundantly clear is there is very, very little evidence to suggest that drinking more water actually makes your skin more hydrated. Of course, if you are chronically dehydrated, your skin is going to be dehydrated as well, but if you are drinking normal amounts of water, you don't need to go and then drink water in excess to help your skin hydration. And the second thing that's really important to understand about skin hydration is that it is very dependent on the integrity of your skin barrier. And the main reason I mention this is that over the last 5 years, I've seen so many more people injuring their skin barrier by over-exfoliating or using too potent of a retinoid product like a super high strength tretinoin, for example, when they don't need it. And that breaks down their skin barrier instead of supporting it. And then their skin is chronically dry and irritated and flaky and kind of all the things you don't want. As a dermatologist, I don't tend to make blanket statements about skincare because every body is different, but twice daily moisturization really does help with your skin health and your skin hydration. And that's because moisturizers contain a unique blend of ingredients that help the skin hold onto water. So for example, they have something called humectants in them. Humectants draw water to the skin surface, so they're really good at plumping the skin. Moisturizers also have something called occlusive agents. These are things that seal off the skin barrier and prevent water from evaporating through the skin surface. And lastly, they contain this category of ingredients called emollients. These are things that make the skin soft and smooth and supple. And the moisturizer that's going to work for you is going to be one that has the right balance of humectants, occlusives, and emollient ingredients, plus any supporting ingredients to work the best it can for your specific skin type. And I know a lot of people struggle to find a good moisturizer. You're worried it's going to react with your skin, it's going to break you out, it's not going to wear well over the day or under your makeup, which is why I've grabbed a variety of different skin types to go over with you. I totally think it's worth the investment to purchase a few different moisturizers and play around with them. Everything I've chosen today is also really affordable, so if you need to order more than one, I think you're going to be okay to do that. Also, keep in mind, you need to meet your skin where it's at. So if you normally have oily skin, but you've started on an acne journey and some of your products are drying you out, you may need to start reaching for moisturizers that are meant for dry, sensitive skin instead of oily skin. Also, your go-to moisturizer might change with the season or the weather, or whether or not you want to wear it during the day or at night. So I usually like to work with a moisturizer wardrobe or a variety of different moisturizers that offer different things. I do this with my sunscreens as well, so I can always pick the moisturizer that's going to meet my skin for exactly the needs I have that day. Okay, let's get into it. I have them all lined up here, and I'm going to start with my favorite moisturizers for dry skin. First up, I have the Astura 80 Barrier 365 Cream. I first learned about this from my girlfriend. My Korean girlfriend's mom, when I was at her house, she went into the bathroom and brought this out and was like, have you tried this? This is what all the girls in Korea are actually wearing for their moisturizer. So of course, had to buy it, had to try it, and I have really enjoyed this. To me, this is a true mid-weight moisturizer that is really good for like combo to dry skin. And sort of the claim to fame, if you will, of this moisturizer is that it is very rich in ceramides, and ceramides are a lipid that exists within our skin barrier. So when you put on something that is rich in ceramides, it helps replenish the skin barrier, it helps support it. It's often very comforting on the skin. And like not all products with ceramides feel good or function well on the skin, but I have really enjoyed this. When you apply it, it glides on. It's very silky smooth, and then you can really feel it absorbing into the skin. So often I find like richer moisturizers can sometimes like sit on top of the skin and you're like, well, is this like absorbing and really doing anything? But this really melts in, which is so beautiful. Something that's also kind of fun about this formula is when you look at it, there's these little ceramide capsules that are suspended within the cream, and like you don't feel them when you rub in, they melt away so seamlessly, but it's just this added little bit of like fun in my skincare, and I really enjoy seeing them melt away. This also contains some lightweight silicones, which give it that really silky, smooth feel on the skin. And sometimes when products contain silicones, I know people can be worried about them clogging pores or not being acne friendly, but I actually think this cream is particularly good for people who have acne, who need something that's a bit richer. This product also contains something called phytosphingosine, which is antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory, so very acne friendly. Next moisturizer, also for dry skin, well, I don't know if I consider it a moisturizer, and it is the Tier Ceramic Milk Ampule. I talked about this in like my Korean favorites from last year. I have talked about it extensively on my TikTok and Instagram because this to me is such a unique, special product. First of all, the texture, I would describe it as a rich serum. It's like if a moisturizer and a face oil had a little perfect baby. I actually don't like using face oils. I don't find them comfortable on the skin. I don't find them particularly effective. So when I first tried this, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. I used it after my tretinoin in the evening, like in my nighttime routine. But oh my gosh, I woke up the next day with the softest, most glowy skin. And then like ever since then, I've been hooked. I've been using it for over a year. And sort of different than the moisturizer I just talked about, this like doesn't absorb all the way into your skin, but I kind of like that, like especially for people who have really dry skin or who have mature skin, who feel like their skin just like drinks up moisturizer and then it's like gone and their skin doesn't feel replenished. This actually like half sinks in and half sits on the skin, and it just makes your skin feel so comfortable when you're wearing it. This has squalane and a variety of ceramides in it, so it's gonna make the skin really soft and hydrated. I do wanna note it does have a light fragrance to it. It's sort of like a clean, sweet smell, but I don't find that aroma lingers on the skin. But if you're like sensitive to fragrance, heads up, but I don't mind it at all. I love it. I feel like if you want that glass skin effect, this is also perfect. For example, I put it on under my makeup today and like my skin doesn't like naturally glow like that. Like I need help, and Tier did it for me. Anyway, I am like goo goo gaga over this particular moisturizer, serum, whatever you want to call it. But let's talk about a moisturizer I really love for oily skin now. And that is the oil-free ultra moisturizing lotion from CosRx. To me, this is such a great balance of a moisturizer that actually feels like it's doing something, like it's hydrating and moisturizing and softening the skin, but it doesn't feel heavy on the skin and it doesn't lead you to produce more oily residue over the day. It's a super lightweight gel and it's not sticky at all. A huge hangup I have with moisturizers specifically that are intended for oily skin is that they either leave this like stickiness or tackiness on the skin, or they just like don't feel like they actually moisturize. But I feel like CosRx got this formula super right. Also, something that is interesting and quite notable about this formula is that it does not contain niacinamide. So you might be like, why is that important? So niacinamide is actually a great ingredient. It's an antioxidant. It helps fortify the skin barrier. It can help with oil control. And so it's often, like almost always, incorporated into products intended for people with oily skin. But there is this category of people who cannot tolerate niacinamide. It either irritates their skin, causes redness, makes them break out, etc. And if you're an oily skinned person who doesn't tolerate niacinamide, it's so hard to find products that leave it out. But this one does not have niacinamide in it. So if you've been looking for a lightweight moisturizer that is niacinamide free, I got you. Moving on to a moisturizer that I think is great if you have combination skin. So those with combination skin will often find they get oily in their T-zone, so like across their forehead, around their nose, and maybe like here and on their chin, but the rest of their skin is either like normal to dry. And the tricky thing with finding a good moisturizer if you have combination skin is you're usually neglecting one part of your face. Like if you pick something that's super rich and hydrating, it's great for the dry parts of your face, but then your T-zone oily area gets out of control. Or if you pick something that is more complementary to the oily parts of your face, the rest of your skin can end up dry or not feeling great over the course of the day. Now, I do know people who are a bit extra and who will apply 2 different moisturizers, one on the T-zone, one on the periphery of the face. But if you have combination skin and you don't want to do that, I have a rec for you, and that is the Round Lab 1025 Docto Lotion. First of all, with this, you get a ton of product. This is 200 ml, so like It's a big girl. And I love this if you want something that's kind of like lightweight, but still hydrating. I picked it for combination skin, but I actually feel like if you have dry skin and you're layering multiple serums and hydrators, and then you don't want like a rich, thick moisturizer to put on afterward, using a lotion like this is great. I also feel like if you have oily skin, but you don't like gel or gel cream formulations and you really do prefer a lotion or a cream, this is great too, because you get that like lotion vibe without it feeling really heavy on the skin. Something unique about this formula is that it has macadamia seed oil, which is not that commonly used in skincare, but is actually quite nourishing. This also has licorice root extract, which has a brightening quality to it. So if you struggle with dark marks or a little bit of hyperpigmentation and you're looking to kind of treat that in different aspects of your skincare and you want a moisturizer that's working towards an end goal of brighter skin, this one's great. This is also fragrance free, super good for sensitive skin. And because it's so big, like 6 full ounces, you can use this face and body. Like I love this as like a face, neck, chest, or if I'm like traveling, not on an airplane, but I'm just like going somewhere, I feel like I can throw this in my bag and I'll be able to use it kind of head to toe. And in terms of application with this, it rubs in really easily, kind of disappears or melts into the skin, and then doesn't leave any residue or film on the skin. So it's great for layering under sunscreen during the day, for example. I feel like if you have someone who's kind of newer to skincare in your life, like a niece, a teenager, a husband or boyfriend that you're trying to get on board with skincare, picking lighter weight products is usually the way to go. And using like a lightweight lotion gives them all the nourishing things they need out of a moisturizer without anything rich or super heavy. Okay, we've done dry skin, oily skin, combination skin. Now I have a couple of recommendations for people with really sensitive skin. Now sensitive skin doesn't really count as a skin type, like you can be oily and sensitive, dry and sensitive, etc. But I do feel like people with sensitive skin need good moisturizer recommendations, so here goes. One of my favorite moisturizers for people who have oily, sensitive skin or skin that is like very reactive, needs to be soothed, is the Oat In Calming Gel Cream from Purito. When it comes to skincare, products that have oats in them or oat-based ingredients tend to be quite soothing. Oats have an anti-inflammatory property, so I love that about this particular gel. It also has panthenol, which is incredibly soothing for the skin. I envision the person who uses this and loves this is someone who is oily, has sensitive skin, doesn't like to feel a lot of product sitting on their skin. If I think about like my acne-prone patients who have oily skin, I think they would love something like this, especially if they're using like prescription acne medications and their skin's being a bit reactive. This will calm their skin and also play nice with like the oily skin tendencies that they have. Also, the texture on this is like so beautifully lightweight. If you live in a more humid climate or you're traveling somewhere more humid, this is lovely. It's also 3.38 ounces, so travel friendly. So if I was going to like the tropics, like Hawaii or Florida or Thailand, a girl can dream, I would bring something like this with me. Now, if you have sensitive or sensitized skin and you want something that's a bit richer, this might actually be like the best texture for me personally of the moisturizers I'm talking about today. It's the Isntree Mugwort Calming Cream, and oh my gosh, this just feels so good when you put it on. If you're not new to my channel, you may know that I have a minor obsession with the Tatcha Overnight Indigo Repair Cream, but that's like $90 for a tiny jar. And this basically feels to me like a lighter weight version of that. I often will describe it as like a lightweight vanilla pudding. There's something very hydrating and supportive about it without being too heavy. It's like Goldilocks, like not too light, not too rich. This one is just right. This is also perfect if you have like normal combination skin, if you lean like a little bit dry or a little bit oily. I think this works really well. I also really like it for like a daytime and nighttime application because of that mid-weight that it has. You could use it under sunscreen and it wouldn't be too heavy, but you could use it over your other products in the evening and would still be really supportive for your skin. I feel like this moisturizer's biggest issue is the name. Like mugwort does not sound like a sexy ingredient, but it's a really nice anti-inflammatory antioxidant. So like take the name out of it and just trust me, like this is fantastic. Oilier skin, go with the Purito. More like combo, slightly dry, slightly oily, go with the Mugwort Calming Cream. If you want something even richer, the Astura Ado Barrier Cream, also fantastic if you have sensitive skin. The Docto Lotion from Round Lab, wonderful for sensitive skin. Like Korean skincare is often very sensitive skin friendly and very supportive of the skin barrier. So like you really can't go wrong with this selection. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, sometimes you need to buy and try a variety of moisturizers to figure out what your holy grail moisturizer really is. And you might want a variety of moisturizers at your fingertips so you can really meet your skin's needs that particular day. But I love these Korean moisturizers because none of them are very expensive. Like I ordered a lot of these in bulk. I buy a lot from Korea because everything's affordable, takes a little while to ship, so I kind of want to like make it worth my while if I'm placing the order. And sometimes I can get like 10 products for the cost of 1 or 2 products that I buy here in America. Also, if you're liking this video and finding this type of content helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Believe it or not, we are down to my last moisturizer recommendation for this video, and this is for acne-prone skin. And that is the glutathione niacinamide facial cream from APLB. And kind of the highlights of this product are in the title. So glutathione, which is a brightening antioxidant, great if you're acne prone. One issue with acne is not the acne itself, but the dark marks or the red marks that it can leave behind. And sometimes your acne is not that bad, but because all these marks are being left behind, your acne looks so much worse than it actually is. So using a product that's going to help brighten the skin and fade those dark marks faster is always helpful. So I love that this has glutathione in it. This also has 2% niacinamide, which I talked a little bit about earlier. If you're not sensitive to niacinamide, it is a wonderful skincare ingredient, particularly if you're acne prone. It's an antioxidant. It helps strengthen your skin barrier. It helps with oil production. It even helps minimize the appearance of your pores, and like, who doesn't want that? And another star ingredient in here is Centella asiatica, which helps calm the skin. A lot of people don't think about this when it comes to acne skincare, but you actually want calming and soothing ingredients because a huge component of acne is the inflammation associated with it. So when you calm and soothe the skin, you kind of take away a little bit of the power of that pimple. Texturally, this is a lovely gel cream with a little bit of cushion to it. When you apply it, it sinks into the skin quite quickly and it layers well with other products, including makeup. So big fan. And that concludes our Korean moisturizer roundup. I really hope you liked this content and found it helpful. If you haven't tried some of these moisturizers, I totally encourage you to try them. Also, if you have any Korean moisturizers that you have tried and loved, please share it in the comments and also share your skin type. Nothing makes me happier than seeing my followers help each other out with recommendations. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.